¿Cómo estás, mi amor?
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Doing laundry.
Doing laundry or laying down in bed?
Doing laundry and laying down.
Mm-hmm.
How's you doing?
Oh, baby, I'm good. I'm glad you're having a weekend, you know?
Am I having a weekend?
Mm-hmm.
What a crazy.
Extra large.
Yeah.
With a side of...
Yeah. Yeah.
Baby?
Oh my gosh.
And my mom is like, oh, you should teach your dad how to play chess. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so funny.
Yeah.
They were playing?
Yeah, they were playing. I've never seen them play. The only other time I've seen them play was when we played Tetris when I was a little kid. We played against each other.
That's fun. I like
It's
that.
funny, baby.
I love
I know.
Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun.
We found a ton of board games, you know? And I'm like, wow, you know, we've never played. I mean, we played one time, but Monopoly.
Yeah.
But
Oh, Monopoly. I haven't played that.
one time we all played together, but yeah.
Oh.
But no, we don't play nothing, baby. So now we're probably all gonna start and watching movies again. We used to watch movies every night when we were growing
What
up.
happened? Oh,
I just
probably you finished watching all of them.
well, I just figured I thought watching YouTube was more important than watching a movie because I was listening to real things, not really fiction, you know. Like I didn't watch TV shows, I didn't watch anything. Just keeping up to date with stuff that was real.
Kind of sounds like the guy from YouTube, the Out of the Shadow. Like he said, I just stopped watching movies I don't even watch because life is more interesting.
And I related to that.
Yeah.
You too, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, definitely.
Mi amor.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I didn't text you at 10 o'clock. I texted you at 10:07 because texted me at 10. And you know what he said?
What?
He said they took down the video. Out of Shadow.
Really?
Yeah.
They took it down?
YouTube took it down or somebody, yeah. And then, which is messed up. And then he said they re-uploaded it. Some other channels re-uploaded it. And then next thing he checked again, and then they were gone.
Let me check on my feed.
Yeah. It's messed up.
Okay.
And
on my feed.
YouTubers were saying to download it, but I didn't do it. Because I didn't think this would happen, but of course I should have known, and now it did.
Mine is still showing.
Okay, and what did you post? The original link?
Yeah.
So I wonder what was talking about then.
That's so strange. It's got like millions of views.
How many, baby?
7, almost 8 million views.
And people said it got millions in like one day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you know what's so funny and embarrassing? And just like shame on them?
Tell me,
like,
sweetie.
It shows, it calls out people, right? Like it called out Katy Perry and Lady Gaga and Jay-Z. Like it showed all these people, like what they're into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. They showed the Pizzagate thing.
They showed them recovering their eye, remember?
Yeah. And it's
Jim
7
Carrey.
million people.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, these are all clips we've seen on our own by themselves.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing them all together. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was a really well put documentary.
Yeah, baby.
Because it put the more, like the very important highlights.
Even when I was watching it, I thought, oh, they could have added this, they could have added that. So I've seen things in my life that could just help. But I guess it's a good beginning video for beginning. Yeah.
What else is gonna come out?
Oh, baby. Well, I think everyone should see it in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be. It should be permanent somewhere. It shouldn't be just taken off like that, like deleted.
Yeah.
And but I'm sure everyone is reposting. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's right. There's an idea that people say that they're gonna put down the internet because it's just too much information.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a good thing it came out during the quarantine.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
That's good. Got everybody's attention. You know, where it's so scary how we're only we're about to enter the second term of like the presidency, you know, and all the stuff that happened with Trump. I just don't see anything getting better when he's like, you know, when he continues to be the president. I mean, like, it's just gonna be hell, you know what I mean? Not because of him, but because of the opposition and all the weird things happening in the world.
Sabotaging. The sabotaging.
Yeah, I'm like.
You mean like the abortion reaching its limit, or
or like
the economical bills? Sorry, what do you call it? Eco-friendly.
The stunts that they're doing,
the Green New Deal. Like the Green New Deal is like all the stunts, all the
like all the things that are happening bad to the people, like they're doing it.
Like the social media censorship of every YouTube channel, even people who are innocent. It wasn't like that before Trump. You see,
it's like they're punishing humanity.
They're making
being under them.
They're making it a horrible experience. And what's funny is that when they're in power, you know, like Obama and stuff, their laws are punishing us. You know?
Oh my God.
Their laws are what punish us, and then now they can't control the laws, so they do it with everything else. You know, they still haven't. Trump was complaining a little while back. They haven't allowed him to hire his staff, and he says they've been waiting for 3 years, and they can't work because the Democrats don't let them pass. He says it's like they're stalling, you know?
I can't believe it.
It's like they're stalling for the longest amount of time possible.
Yeah.
So they've been waiting, and they put their whole careers on the line, you know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So it's like that intimidation. They probably don't get paid either, right? So that intimidation hurts people who want to be good. So if you want to be good, you get punished. You know? And what's messed up is that all the sabotaging they do, it's legal. It's allowed, you know, it's not a crime. It's just they're just not doing their job. That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember, no, I don't even remember the times when they had other, like, you know, Ebola, the bird flu, the pig flu. Like, I remember during that time, I was just living my life normal. And I would occasionally, you know, like, you know, pass by and hear the TV say, and, you know, the pig flu and all this stuff.
I had no idea it was here.
I'm like, oh, just the pig flu, you know, like bird flu, but that was it. And
so many people died.
It's so strange that.
You know how many people died, baby? Like.
Yeah, like I didn't even pay attention.
Like 3
to
times
that,
as many.
You know?
3 times as many as now. you know?
So what I say to myself, it's so crazy how we're going, we're going through what we're going, but with the shutdown and affecting the economy. But back then they didn't even shut down nothing. It kept going on like normal. So I'm like, wait a moment, how come these presidents, everybody kept going on with their normal lives, normal jobs, everything was running, even with the viruses going on? But now that Trump is here, like, they decided to shut down everything, It doesn't make sense.
And also, baby, I hear, now that, there was no vaccine for the flu back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people said how many flu cases there were. Very little.
Mm-hmm.
Now the flu cases are enormous.
Yeah.
Like more people die every year of the flu than, or at least the same amount of people dying now of the virus.
Yeah.
Is how many would die of the flu all the time every year, So there's way more cases of flu than ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And vaccines are more developed than ever because they always make them for the flu.
Yeah.
Yet there's more, what do you call it? So even though there's more vaccines and it's supposed to have cured everything, there's more cases of flu than ever. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't help at all. Like it's not the solution people think. It's not magic, Yeah. And people are like, oh, so you actually, if you come up with a vaccine, how did that work out for the flu? That didn't do anything. And then Dr. Shiva was saying it's completely optional. Like no one can tell you to take a vaccine.
Exactly.
It's completely optional and it's extra. It's not what heals the body at all. And then my mom was talking today about how they vaccinated us as kids,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we were talking about the little mark on our shoulder,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, how old were we, Mom? And she's like, newborn, born recent.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her what Dr. Shiva said, but I said it in a question. I said, and you think the baby's body can fight that off? Can have an immune system to fight off whatever they inject? And she's like, she started doubting, like, because if a little baby can't fight off a cold,
Exactly.
So that's what they're doing to you when you're injecting. Mm-hmm. Plus some foreign metals and whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a PDF I found in the cdc.gov, right? And it's a PDF for like what to do about a pandemic influenza, which I think it's what we're, the coronavirus is like an influenza because it's just triggering like a flu. But anyway, so there's a part here that it says that that there is basically no guarantee that there's no guarantee if people take vaccines or the latest technological advanced medicine that will, guarantee people of not getting infected. So even then, they stated it, they said that there's no vaccine that can do that. And
Wow.
they've been actually preparing. Here, let me see if I have a note here. So yeah, they were saying it's saying their diversity and propensity for mutation have thwarted our efforts to develop both a universal vaccine, highly effective antiviral drugs.
So
because
So essentially, they are saying there's going to be a delay.
No, they're saying that viruses for centuries have been known to always mutate.
Mm-hmm.
And when they mutate, they become more, like, I guess, unpredictable. Like, what solution will be needed, what serum, what vaccination will be needed. So it says, so as a result, and despite annual vaccination programs and modern medical technology, influenza in the United States results in approximately 36,000 deaths and 226,000 hospitalizations each year. So no matter what, even though people get their annual vaccination
for influenza,
there's still approximately 36,000 deaths each year.
That sounds like a pandemic.
Yeah.
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 And what's funny is that they're altering the numbers of deaths here, the cause. So it's probably even less than we thought, way less.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you something, because I wish I could have recorded everything that I talked to with yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And, it would have been so interesting for like a podcast, he said. And towards the end of it, he said, if we could somehow record what we do, go to your house and talk in the mic. And I said, oh, maybe I can record a phone call,
Oh.
And then he's like, yeah, we got to make a YouTube because we have so many great minds here. And I said, that'd be great, but it would have to be secret.
And
he came
because of you? Like, yeah.
Yeah, because we can't show our face and stuff. And if it becomes too famous, people might know the voice, So
there goes your career.
Oh God! And then so basically we came up with a nice name. He said, "What about the Red Corner?" And I said, "Ooh, sounds like the Matrix." and we thought it would be great, but anyway, but I'm more focused on doing my future. I don't really know about this. It would just be for helping people. It wouldn't be for money. And I don't know. He just says it's so easy to do because, we could easily just spread it around. Although you can get caught because it's like, oh, you're spreading out your own secret account. Like, it's like you're posting your own secret stuff, videos. Yeah, but anyway, he just loved it so much because to him it was all new information. I was telling him really crazy historical stuff that he didn't know. He didn't know about the two parties in history. He didn't know any. And I was blowing him away, and he was like, wow. And he's like, and he said, since we couldn't record it, is there someone else we can do it with again? And then I said, oh yeah, he's very curious, So what I'll do is that if we say people's names, you cover the name, you censor it a little.
Yeah.
So if I just said his name, I'll just block it, Anyway,
why can't you just it would be a good idea to have
code name
like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to show your face, but what do you call it? Ooh, I had an interesting idea.
Ooh.
My idea would be you record, like in a little studio, in a little room, but you fix up the lighting where, like, it only captures, the table or the microphones, but your faces are in the shadow.
And then someone comes in and turns out the light. Want some spaghetti? No. Mamma mia.
Hijo, ya está listo la cena.
Mom.
Or Puri.
Yeah.
Coming, like, knocking down the door and like...
Yeah. And what's funny is that it's supposed to be the most famous internet voice, most mysterious, right?
That would be so cool. Like, if you can set up the lighting where it's only like showing everything, but like the shadow like doesn't hit just right above your head, like you can't tell who you are, you know?
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
What's cool is that it would be nice if we just have our own house and we do it, you know? But that's what was saying too, like our own warehouse or something. But a lot of YouTubers they just don't show themselves. They just record, you know, and talk.
And another idea too is like it doesn't have to be something just like you know what I'm trying to say is it can just be a talk show, but just your commentary, you know, because the comments that people make are sometimes very like captivating, you know, because other people can relate to your comments and think like people that think like you, like oh yeah, like that's exactly what I commented, you know, but not comments from other sources, but your own personal comments are more personalized for your, you know, your viewers. So I'm like, that would be a good way to put it.
That would be,
you know?
Yeah.
Because everybody has the right to say their opinion, you know?
Baby. And I mean, it's like real, and people like that.
Yeah.
And then I also told them, hey, he might not have questions. He doesn't ask questions. That's what I don't like. But he likes to listen. And
if you think about it, like CNN and all these news outlets, their views go more a lot on commentators. Like,
they do.
Have you noticed that they put on TV not like people saying the facts of the story,
No.
but just their comments and even the hateful ones.
Yeah, I even know. I see the headline. The headline is entirely an opinion. Like the headline will say the president was angry. That's an opinion. That's an opinion. And then you see the video and he's not even angry. Yeah.
And you know, that's a funny thing because real journalism is about putting out the facts and being neutral, right? It's like you're not giving a comment about it or a view, but you're just stating the facts and leaving it open for people to make their own judgment.
Because essentially the reporter it doesn't matter. They're supposed to not matter. It's almost like saying the reporter is the email website.
The messenger.
And they're just supposed to deliver. It's like the camera. The reporter's the camera recording. And we're just we're there to watch the video of what happened.
Right.
And the reporter's just the camera. That's what they're supposed to be.
Right. So that'd be interesting. I think you should try it out. I mean, like, just giving your comments is
because
good enough.
What's great about giving your opinion is that you stop being a reporter and you begin being more of an influencer or something like that, or an analytical. And sometimes people need that because they don't have time to research every day, but some people who research every day can sum it up and compare. And you have great examples you bring up in articles.
But it's just I can imagine you like with your like a red reddish lighting, and then like your face kind of in the shadow, and then
Luna.
Hijo, ya está la cena. Dile si quiere comer.
Mom, don't say my name. Mama.
Oh, that would be funny.
The thing is, if you do this, it's like you're committing to something. It's like, oh man, I already have a business, I already have a job, I already have a relationship. You're committing to something else, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I'm gonna have to start over. It's like making a secret account and you already have 4. You know, it's like, oh, sometimes I feel a bit overwhelmed because my brothers don't help me with the projects, and I'm doing
What
everything.
kind of projects?
No, the art. I'm doing the art, the writing, the marketing, the website, the music. I'm doing everything, and the publishing, the research, the barcodes, and the trademark. I'm doing everything, and not. It's like I'm in charge of an entire company, and then I would have to be. And then when I made the YouTube videos, that's like an entirely different job. But I did it just to prove I could do it, and then everyone loved it. Just saw it yesterday. He was like, "Oh my God, you can totally be a star or something." And I said, "Oh, that's nice. I mean, I just did it just because I wanted people to have fun during the quarantine."
Yeah. You mean like the videos you've been doing during
But
quarantine?
that thing took me 4 days, and and then and then each one of those took me 2 days. You know, and if we do make a podcast, I would have to take out things like this where I'm talking about my real life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just he likes the idea of telling the world of you know, like save the world kind of thing. Like he's into it.
Yeah.
I told him to research the Will Smith information. I said that you told me. Just so he can know that you're very updated onto these things, you know.
I can't believe Will Smith. And I believe it. You know what is the scariest
I told
thing
him,
about this stuff?
what? Tell me. But I told him there's a list of people that went on the trips to Epstein's Island. Yeah. So what's up?
It seems like the handlers, you know, like the abusers and pedophiles and the bad people look like they have it all together. Like they look like healthy, shining, healthy people.
I thought the same thing. I said, wow, I was such a big fan of Will Smith growing up. I was a huge fan. So to me, and he would always make videos in podcasts as a guest about being a good person and about being mature and success.
But then as I read about these type of personalities, like they basically have a psychopath trait to them, which is like they're charming and friendly and they're very extroverted.
And then I realized something. I realized they're actors.
And they're
so if you're an actor, you can't trust an actor.
Yeah.
It's almost like Hollywood is promoting. I mean, we love art, right? But if you consider acting lying, if you just consider that lying, okay? They're hiring professional liars.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. Like you take a look at Harvey, at Jeffrey, you take a look at Madonna, Lady Gaga. Like you would look at them and say, oh, like they know who they are, they got it all, you know. But the thing is that I realize is that the victims that are being handled by them, the victims are the ones that end up being the drug addicts, the committing suicide, they end up being like crazy, and these are the victims, you know. So I'm like thinking, it's like the Satan is like, you know, he looks like a great, beautiful thing, and he looks like, you know, no, he would not do harm, but actually that's the most dangerous people because the ones that they are abusing and doing these things end up cracking their head. These victims end up doing drugs and losing their mind because they've been under like horrific situations, right?
Seems like
so
it.
I'm like, I observe, you know, like I'm like, Will Smith looks like, you know, you can trust him with your life. He has that little, you know, like charm to him. Like
the twinkle.
He's
got the twinkle eyes.
Harm a fly? Yeah.
And not just that, but then when you hear Orlando Bloom talking about him, right? Sorry, Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
That's another actor. He says, this is my childhood, you know, and he said he did it to all the other kids. He abused all the other kids. So what I'm getting at is not only is there like like you're talking about the victims being addicted, they have trauma.
Trauma, yeah. And their trauma is reflected in their addiction and craziness.
It
like,
is.
look at Miley Cyrus.
Well, it's because it's unholy. It's
Yeah.
unspiritual. It breaks you.
Yeah.
It's inhumane. And
It's
Miley?
so weird how it is. Oh, like Miley Cyrus, I remember when she was young, a little
Yeah,
ago,
you know how
like,
disappointed her dad is in her?
oh my
Her
gosh.
dad is like a nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, all these weird, like, Britney Spears, all these people, like, it's like they were used and abused by the ones that look like good people. And the victims, they ended up being, like, trashed.
Well, look at this.
Like, broken.
Look, I'm noticing a pattern. Orlando Brown, Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake. These are all Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Disney is also, what was it in the what was the documentary called, Out of Shadow?
Yeah.
They said something about it was started by CIA, I think.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that, but they said that they funded specifically this studio. So, a studio gets its, government. And then you have things like Disney being involved with owning Fox and owning, I think so, right? Yeah, they own Fox and all this. And so it all spreads out like that, Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then Warner Bros. Owns CNN. So what are these companies doing owning media?
Wow.
And then you have politicians owning media, like Bloomberg News,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is creepy, but I feel so, like, more and more people are gonna come out like that, and even though they're on meth, even though they're taking drugs, all this stuff, it's like
they care more about the truth in the end, and they do a Me Too, and they speak out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anymore about, like, faking it to get money. I really do think that
It's like they don't care about the money anymore. Yeah. They don't want to sell out anymore.
Oh my gosh, poor people.
Yeah. So I gotta.
And we watched, how, like, these actors or young, they were normal ones, and we watched them turn into a big ball of mess,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh.
And then I hear that in Hollywood you have to play the role of the opposite gender at least once.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a video footage of like all these actors in one row at least wearing a dress, when they're a guy,
Yeah.
And things like that. And they assume it's because behind closed doors, there's what they call the gay mafia in Hollywood, which is that you just have to give your body to them, even if you're a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have an Andrew Gillum situation, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, Andrew Gillum.
Yeah.
You know what the scariest thing is? These people have, like, freaking family and kids.
It's probably secret. It's probably secret.
How can...
Right?
That's satanic.
Oh, that means that the family is being lied to, right? Like the person
the
is
family,
lying.
the children, is like...
Yeah.
I would literally, like, one day I read an article of a woman...
Or maybe they're hypnotized.
She killed herself because she found out her boyfriend was, like, into boys, and she left a note saying, I feel the crime, the monstrosity that he committed,
on the kids. On the kids.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like what he committed, I did it because I was with him, and I can't live with that in my soul.
Was she allowing it?
No, she discovered it by finding internet like tracks history.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I mean, wouldn't that be like not her fault? I don't think she should have killed herself because she was innocent. But in a way she did, like, every single bad person is being helped by good people. That's the problem. Yeah.
That's terrifying. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just so many bad things out there. It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I told notice all the good things because I know it's heavy stuff. I told him.
It is. You have no idea, like, how dark it is outside. Like, what we're living right now, we're so fortunate. We're so blessed not to live these things, you know, or witness it.
Yeah, at least this isn't part of society. It's not a culture problem. It's just an elite problem, you know. Or at least the example you told me about the woman, the wife.
Yeah.
They were not famous, right?
Yeah, they weren't. They were not famous.
Okay.
No. Today, sorry to bring up crazy news, but I woke up, right, and I think it was in Florida.
How's your stomach, by the way? Your little food poison.
I think I have to change my diet. Maybe maybe I have to pick certain foods to eat and not to eat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just forgot to check up on you today. Okay.
Because at work, you know, it's like stressful, and when I come here, I have too much going on, and I'm not relaxed. So when I eat like in a rush or not relaxed. So my stomach doesn't digest well. And it's like, imagine your like stomach crunches up because of, you know, stress or, you know, work, whatever, tiredness. And then like you eat, you don't want to eat, but you have to eat. And when you do eat, it gets stuck in there. So, yeah, I have to kind of change up certain things that I'm doing, you know. Yeah. But anyway, oh yeah, so I was telling you, and in the morning I'm like, I see, man said the man said that he felt that he wanted to walk out of his house and kill the first person he saw. And then
that sounds like brainwashing or
and it's,
voice of God technology.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one time I had an experience like that, which
you told me.
Out.
You told me where your family didn't hear it and you did or something.
Yeah. No, but there was one that was really bad. That no. But anyway, so the guy, he was like, he said, I told myself inside that I wanted to prove to my daughter that I was greater than God, or I was God, something like that.
Oh, you're talking about demon possession or something.
So he said that...
I'm sure there's evil spirits around these people. Yeah,
and the guy, he said that with no remorse. And he went out and he saw an old lady, 80 years old, doing her garden.
Every human is subsect, like every human is open to these things attacking and entering them, you know.
I'm like,
it's only natural. They're out there. It's just, So what's
I'm
up?
like, so the dude went after this old lady and stabbed her. Thankfully, she survived.
And then they interrogated him to hear his reason.
And he said with his reasoning that he wanted to prove.
Was he sad when he said it, or what?
The news report says that he had no remorse.
No remorse.
Yeah. So you know what?
I hear cats fighting. Okay, so what's up?
I think it's true when they predicted that the portals of other dimensions would be opening up, and people that are not protective of their spiritual being, they're susceptible to being taken by these like entities that are coming through the portals.
Dang. Or maybe it's not even a portal. Maybe they're just in their own dimension but we have an energetic field in their dimension. So they don't even have to travel. We're just all in the same energetic world, and they see us. I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I try to avoid watching too much violence or gruesome stuff, because I feel like the energy of it coming through the screen.
Exactly.
Or even
fear.
music.
Even fear. Yes, even music, because you're talking about portals, but what if it's not even a portal? What if it's just your fear and your depression? You know, and that attracts them. That is what I mean.
Yeah.
It attracts them and it invites them because you're not safe.
Yeah, you have to be like, you know how they've experimented monkeys, putting them in a cage and making them watch like violence and all this stuff?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
So when monkeys, they've encaged them in a little cage and only made them watch every single day of their life violence and pure evil, they turn like savages, like they're violent, they're killers.
God, so TV does program you.
Yeah. And there was a scientific study about that, but I hate that. Like I only read that a little bit because it breaks me so much, my heart. Like when I hear these experiments being done on animals, like I can't handle it. Like for me, it's no.
Well, they're experimenting on our kids, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And that's how you get what we get now.
Getting money for it.
Yeah. It desensitizes, like what we watch and what we listen desensitizes the human.
Oh man, so what do I do if I make a story and it's violent?
Well, baby, unfortunately, I lived in a world where it's become the norm. But it's up to me as a grown adult. I've personally, for myself, taken responsibility of not watching, like sometimes I would be like, no, like if I ever tell you, no, I don't want to listen or I don't want to watch this, it's not anything towards you, but because of me, like I'm protecting myself.
Okay.
And other times when I was younger, I was into Freddy Krueger, I was into, horror movies and violence and gruesome, and like I could watch something like really deadly and not feel affected. But that led me into being so desensitized that it actually affected me emotionally, where I wasn't feeling remorse for anything that would have to do with pain, So I got alarmed there. I said, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, why do I not feel remorse? Why do I not feel bad for what I did or what I said? Why am I thinking, like it kicked me one day and I got scared of myself. I'm like, how did I turn into this? Like this is
because you don't begin like that as a kid.
Yeah. Well, when you're a kid, you're very sympathetic, like you're very compassionate. But with the bombarding of violence, TV, bad people bullying you, and all these things, you turn into a monster yourself, and then you start treating people like really bad.
Then you have people who say it's art, and I always thought, wow, he's right. It's art, and everyone who goes against it is like Shakespeare. Shakespeare has violence, It's art, and everyone who goes against it is just ignorant or something.
Yeah.
And then you think about it, and you're like, wow, everyone, both sides of the debate they're firm, and they both think they're right,
Why do you think
so maybe it's a little of both what we need,
Yeah. Why do you think soldiers commit suicide?
Yeah.
Because when they've gone into war or they've gone wherever they've gone, they have to witness or commit crimes against their own soul and against their own fellows, you know, and then that you can't erase. So it's a mind, like it's like you literally killed your own soul doing these things. It's not easy. It's not good. And that's the same thing with humanity, you know, like young kids or older men, like anybody committing suicide. It's because they've been in their mind witnessing or absorbing so much negativity that it brings you to a point where you feel death and you want to get out of that. So their only way of escaping is by killing themselves, because it frees them from the pain that they feel. So it's like all of these things that we watch and listen to, at the end of the day, it really makes you who you are, you know. I had like people like, no, Carol, you have to watch this. You have to watch because
Bird Box.
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, why the hell are you making me, you know, if I don't want to watch it, I don't want to watch it. Like, why the hell?
Like Freddy Krueger was a popular culture, you know.
Yeah, they're like, you have to watch it so you can become fearless and you can face and you know, they were right, because the more I watched desensitizing material, the more I became numb.
Oh, I got another one. Saw.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to see it.
And I liked that stuff. I liked it. But hell no, when I realized, oh shoot, I'm not feeling bad anymore for a bunny getting crushed. Or
hell no, I don't even want to look up footage of people getting killed in Saw, because they're like not. One thing is to kill some sort of dictator mafia. Another thing is to just kill people, you know? No.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching Saw in a way is almost like you going to like the deep web and looking up people getting tortured or something.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me
That's
of
what culture
Islam.
has ended up in.
Yeah, it reminds me of Islam, or those people that actually stone to death other women for, you know, cheating, or for somebody converting into a different religion. They cut their head.
Or they do it.
You know?
Even though the woman was violated, they do it to her. They stone her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like ridiculous. Yeah.
And they have no remorse. Their children, they don't just slap them. They torture them. Like, they'll burn their tongue, you know, if they do something against their beliefs. And it shows you there, you know, like what desensitizing the soul does, why it's so needed to have,
A
to
balance.
know your creator, you know, because that definitely is not your creator's love of discipline. It's the other ones, you know,
the opposite
the devil,
side.
Satan's way of you know, doing things.
Yeah.
But that's not our creator, no.
No. Two things I want to say. Reminds me of there was a guy who was also on Next News Network. You know, he's constantly revealing these things like a month before the media does, right? The Next News Network and InfoWars.
Yeah.
So he had Dr.Shiva, but there was another guy who was very much like Dr.Shiva in his knowledge of the secret funding of all these people, and also in terms of military knowledge, because he was an ex-soldier, and he sounded like he was from India too. So it was a little funny. I just didn't post it, even though it was very good, because I said I kind of don't want to post this stuff on Facebook because I feel like the only voice talking out. And I said, if I post every crazy video I saw that had heavy information that was an hour long, people just ignore it. They'll say, "Oh, spamming," and they just won't listen. So the best thing I can do is to be quiet, which is so hard, you know. But this is so dumb. But whatever. I'm tired of doing all the lifting for people anyway. So this guy was saying he was in this war that was very famous part of American history. He said, "You remember the war in so and so that was around the Gulf of Mexico?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Remember those famous fires? There was fires in a base or something. I don't remember." Sorry for not remembering my facts. And then he said, yeah, I remember those famous fires. He said, we did those fires. Me and my team were the ones who were called to do it. And then that was the reason we had to go to war in that area. Again, I don't remember the area, but I think it was around this continent, I think.
Yeah.
And so he was saying how this is how they work. And this is how it can happen even within our own place, our own system.
Oh.
And soldiers have to just do it. And and then that's another thing to add to the depression part, you know?
Yeah.
Because you want to be a champion, you want to be a hero, and you want to be a defender of justice when you're a soldier.
Yeah.
But then there's people who abuse their power, and they're probably because it's something outside of the country commanding them, probably something bigger.
Yeah.
And anyway, the other thing I wanted to say was that speaking of Islam, I think this is, if I am recording right now, I don't know if I am. It's important. It's important for people to know, because we've said so many endless great topics that there's no way I'm going to remember all of them. So unfortunately, we won't say them again. People just won't know. But from now on, we'll try to record. Anyway, remember in the Out of Shadow documentary when they show the pizzeria, Comet Pizza? And then the star and the crescent moon, and you said you noticed that years ago, and I said, oh wow, I'd never even bothered looking up how it looked, because I kind of avoided that stuff, because it kind of I didn't want to look into it, you know. I knew the facts, but I didn't want to see it myself. I didn't want to see the pictures, you know.
The symbolism.
Yeah, so I'm surprised the documentary didn't even mention, but the restaurant is green, the crescent moon and the star inside the crescent moon. And that's the Islamic flag, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is Islamic. And then you said, no, this is something more ancient. Yeah. And then you showed me how it was related to Ishtar and something else. It had many names, right?
Ishtar, the goddess.
And it showed something that looked like a Sumerian goddess. It looked like, but I mean, it could have just been photoshopped together, but.
No, that's actually, if you just gotta go and look.
I've seen that. Yeah, that it's some sort of goddess. Yeah.
Do you think there's a connection between them, like the territory of the Middle East and this? Like, I would like to know where what part of the world that worshiping began. You know, of Ishtar.
Yeah, for sure, something there, some sort of drop of power has always stayed, you know.
Yeah.
And its tactics, yeah.
Wow.
And then there's there's a good side too, ancient good stuff and ancient bad stuff with symbols.
Oh no, there's so much stuff that you know.
I'm just glad there's a big movement of people trying to bring good values, you know? I'm talking religiously, you know? There's people who just think, wow, good ethics matter. Let's make a movement out of it, you know? Just glad. I was watching a documentary, not a documentary, it was a YouTuber who made a long video, and then he made a part 2. I only saw part 1, but he was saying all the parts of the Bible that were, that they only found one reference to. And then they find another reference where it says something else, so they can compare what was added, what was not added. And then some people were super specific that they would even write down on the side of the comment, the side of the text had a little comment, and it would say, "You fool, you wrote the wrong translation," for like one word. And it was so funny, because they were so, you're so disrespectful, you know, for mistranslating, like in ancient writing, you know, ancient Hebrew. And one of them would say, "You are a cocoa face or a cuckoo face." It said cuckoo face. And the guy started laughing. He's like, it actually said
like
that.
Religious people.
Yeah, like in ancient Hebrew. It's like, you are a cuckoo face. It was so funny. It's so funny. It's like little graffiti or Facebook post. Oh my god. And it was interesting.
So
yeah, it was interesting. And he was saying all these famous quotes we think we know. You probably know more about this than me, right? But he was saying how they were changed because some of them, they have 3 different versions of them. Like one they find in Rome, one they find over here, one they find over there. And they were all little Bibles that were hidden, right? That people just kept writing over and over and over. They kept writing it. You know, because eventually the paper disappears.
Yeah.
So people just kept making copies by hand. So they find one in this country, one in this country, different Bibles. And then they're able to compare, and that's what they did. So historians know that the Bible was written in every country. Like they all kept writing it. And then they're able to see what was changed and what was not. And but some things they just don't know for sure because we don't have the original.
What blew my mind was when I started comparing the verses with in different Bible translations, like versions. And I said, this is so misleading because they change it and it could totally change the message, you know?
Well, totally.
And I'm like, this is dangerous too.
Right.
Like,
and you know what the guy said? Which leads to your point. He said, and people will fight you to the death now because they'll tell you it's the word of God and how dare you. Exactly. And I'm like, wait a minute. Exactly. What are you saying? Because this is not exactly the original text, you know. Yeah. You could be like some words change the sentence. They change.
The words do change the sentence.
Then you have things like that he said that every apostle, you know how you have the book of this, the book of that, the book of that.
Yeah.
He said that they didn't actually write that part. And that they think because when you read the text doesn't say Jesus and I. It doesn't say that. The text says Jesus and his disciples. So they think the people who wrote the book of this, the book of that, he thinks it was just average people who were witnessing the whole disciples and everybody.
Wow.
So he said probably the disciples couldn't even read or write because they were like fishermen and peasants and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So because Jesus was not around royal people.
No.
I don't even know if Jesus could write. I don't even. But
no, right? You never know that.
But
like,
but some of them said
he was a carpenter, supposedly.
Yeah. And some of them said great things. They said so many things happened that no book could fill the amount of things Jesus did. And I'm like, oh man, we'll never know everything. That's so nice.
Oh my God.
And then you have things like I don't remember what he said, but yeah, it was basically that, you know. He was around men, he was around women, he was around peasants, he was around what do you call it? The sick, you know.
The leopard.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. One day we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we will. With time machines, we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout too. Like, I don't just settle with what we're being told because one thing I know for sure, for a fact, like inside of me, you know, like you know when you know something, you just know it. There's an imitator of the real Messiah, you know. And we know that, like, I'm sure you know the whole story about Lucifer wanting to be like him and everything.
Really?
Yeah, I really feel like, like, that's the key point that we have to be so careful because it said that a lot of people are going to fall for the fake Messiah, you know? Which he's going to appear to be like the one, you know, like, oh, this is the Messiah, this is him, yeah, this is the Savior, but it's not, it's the imitator. And I'm hearing people saying that he's already been here. like the Antichrist, he's been here already. And I kind of have an idea of who he is, but I don't want to say it.
Okay.
And I've heard other people, a couple few also believe the same thing I concluded by myself, you know. Most of the things I conclude, like I think about, I do it when I meditate or when I stop and really, really think. And then I end up finding out, well, there's somebody else that actually came to the conclusion too. But it's crazy, Lovey. Yeah, I don't know, baby. We're being lied to by the media, by the news, by the movies, by people, and in religion.
Do you think you can tell us? Do you think you can tell us who the Antichrist is? The thing is, whoever it is, these Democrat leaders just seem so incompetent. Like, I don't even want to say. Like, what I'm trying to say is, I know they are good enough to win elections and become presidents and all this, but when you look at what they can do, they don't seem like geniuses. They don't seem like they can outsmart like the ultimate villain. They don't like you know how Jesus would think way above everyone else. They don't seem like that. Like scary, you know. They just seem like they're fooling around and fumbling. And and they, even if they tried being good or doing their job, they can't, you know.
Yeah.
They're horrible at managing. So I don't know who it would be. Because you're saying it's somebody out now, right?
It's somebody,
or maybe they haven't won yet.
I think it's
or it happened already.
Do you think? Yeah, that's a crazy thing because I'm not. You know, a lot
what if we find out that like Bill Gates runs for office or something? What if it hasn't happened? Yeah.
The Antichrist has to do something with religion, definitely.
I see what you're saying. Not politics. Yeah. Okay, what if remember when Mark Zuckerberg ran for president in 2016? He actually did.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know that he was probably CIA made? You know what I mean? That Out of Shadow video, I think talked about him. No. Dr. Shiva talked about him.
Dr. Shiva. Everybody even thinks that he looks like a robot.
Said that he stole the. And you heard that robot noise? You heard it? Said that he stole the Facebook program, and then that Bill Gates stole the computer PC program, the blueprints.
They're all in it. But Dr.
Not
Shiva
stole, but you know, they bought it off. Sorry?
Yeah. Dr. Shiva, he makes good points about them.
Yeah.
Like when he talks about Bill and what's his name?
And Zuckerberg, yeah. So that guy, if they bring him in, it would be like like a CIA president, right? Or something.
We'll see, because something's like not fitting in. For so many years, I hear the same narrative of the Christians, of how it's going to break down, how, you know, how everything's going to go down. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there's something not right about it. They're not being very accurate because I thought, you know.
I'm pretty sure they're going to bring a celebrity. They'll try to use the celebrity factor to win. Know what I mean? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Trump, like their celebrityness, you know what I'm saying? Like Mark Zuckerberg type.
What I do know is that a lot of people, like, maybe a third of the people will not fall for it, but the rest of the world will.
Yeah,
and,
they will.
When I hear people like agendas like the vaccinations and the chipping and space programs and progressiveness science, I hear those are the people that are going to go with the Antichrist. Like, those are the type of people.
Well, their ideology is associated with that. It's not with sovereignty. It's conformity. There's... Bunny poop.
It's ma'am. I'm looking here up.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
It's ma'am.
I said it's ma'am. The guy had an interview. He sounded psycho. And yes, it's a guy. It's. Can you imagine a guy saying, "Call me woman"? What the dignity? Oh gosh.
Oh wait.
Look, you just have to love yourself, you know? Just love yourself. Look at the way puppies play. Puppies don't care what gender they are. They just play around. You know, if you're a human and you want to change gender, it's like you're overthinking it. You know, you already exist. You already have
unless
you know.
It's true what Alex Jones says in his findings that the water or something that people consume is changing or warping their genes.
Gotcha. And then they start blaming society, but it's actually a deep state engineering.
Yeah. Antichrist. I call that Antichrist because what they say is, you can be anything you want to be.
Yeah, they want to. What is the word for it? When you don't have a gender, there's a word for it.
Asexual.
It starts with an A. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the word. Androgynous? No. Anyway.
Now they want to be aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know. But we're going to find out little by little. All I know is that I can't believe the contrast between like how the world is splitting into two groups.
Yeah, but can I say real quick, just in case I am recording, can I say, I don't think this is fair for the gay community because they are, they're just part of life, right? They're just people.
Yeah.
And then you have the agenda. And the agenda literally took this entire sexuality and owns it. They're not free. Could you imagine every single straight person belonging to progressivism just because you're straight? That's horrible. That seems like a cage.
Wow.
So now just being gay, you're forced into this thing. And it's not right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
By the way, they already have their rights, you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing left to do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I really believe in that, you know, the evil people in this world that run our food, run what we watch, run what we breathe, the air. Like, it's just so. It's like they literally wanna transmutate the nature of humanity, like the original DNA.
I see the video. Remember the video I sent you of the mom and the kid, right? The mom and the boy. That's how humans are in nature. That's how we are.
Yeah.
And then you have a thing where you're in a frickin' computer and everything is owned and everything is moving and everything is controlled.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. And it's like they want to manipulate this thing like some ant farm, you know?
Right. Once again, the Antichrist. Because it literally is going against the laws of nature of original, you know.
But now it's like we can control how you're social distancing. We can control if you can hug. We can control if you can blink.
Wow.
You know, what's his name? Dr.Shiva was saying, you know, we can control if you can watch the Out of Shadow documentary or not because we're deleting it, you know. Dr. Shiva was saying that the vaccine thing is one of those factors where they're aiming to monetize something that everyone needs. Literally everyone needs. So it's like, wow, we can make money out of something everyone has to pay for by law. Right? Yeah. So it's
My
like
mom,
he said if they could make money out of air, they would, you know?
yeah.
And
My mom came.
that's not what humans are here to do. What are they doing, you know?
My mom was scared. She was like, I'm scared of Trump. And I say, why? And she said to me, because he said that in a couple of days, like maybe by May, he's going to make a very hard decision on what he's going to do in regards to the virus, you know?
Oh my God, it's gonna be the tracking thing, isn't it? They're gonna make him do it. They're gonna make him do it.
And I told her, I know, Mom.
He doesn't want to do it, but...
I heard it. I heard it on the news. I heard Trump. There was a video where he literally did say, I will have to make a very hard choice.
Yeah.
So,
there's a video where he says, right before the... don't forget what you were going to say. A video where he's saying to the press briefing that we're going to have to find a vaccine. Then he pauses and he says, even though I think that's not the answer, and he kept insisting, I really, really think we don't want a vaccine. Like, I really think we need to find other things. He's like warning us, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just like he was warning, you know, don't take the test unless you are sick. Because he knew the deep state was putting the virus on the test to get people sick. Yeah, so what happened?
So then,
because the vaccine is going to kill more than the virus is. Even Bill Gates said it. And he said it while he was laughing. I don't know if you saw the video. He said 100, it's just like 100,000 possible bad side effects of the vaccine, you know, bad cases. But at least the rest of the world will be safe, you know. He said something like that. And he was like smiling while he said it. It was freaky. Anyway, so your mama?
So yeah, so she was scared about that, and she's like, no vaya a ser, you know, I hope not that he's like not talking about having everybody vaccinated. And I told her, you know what, Mom, you might be right, you know, and there is a possibility that that may be a decision he's talking about, getting vaccinated. But I told her, but I think one thing that will make things different is that I somehow believe and I hope that if he does introduce the vaccine idea, you know, as a decision, I can only hope that he does it like giving free will to the people, meaning it's up to the individual to decide whether they will take it or not. But another thing,
the only thing that would make it forceful is this political correctness stuff they're using as complete dictatorship. So it's like, oh, social shame, right? They'll make you feel bad. And it's like, wow, this thing is different. Let's make an exception. That's what they're going to do. And that's not right, because we've never made an exception. It's like, because the media says it's crazy, we have to believe. But then what? The media's wrong, so now you say sorry? No, it's like you can't make exceptions to constitutional stuff. You can't. It's impossible. It's like, you know, everyone, because there's a chance that the individual voter, citizen, is smarter than the establishment. There's just a chance. So you can't make the establishment always win and be forceful. That's why it's a right. It's a right to choose, you know?
Yeah, it's a right. And I think that's the...
You have the right. You have the right to kill yourself and die by not taking it.
I told her,
and
Mom,
take the risk.
I said, Mom, look at, you know, observe how God is. Like, He knows, you know, what's good and bad. He tells us what's good. He tells us what to do. But at the end of the day, He gives us our free will, our choice to make. So I said, and I have a feeling that Trump may be like that. Like, he has no choice but to say, you know what, we have to introduce vaccines, but it's your decision, you know. And the thing about it is that I'm thinking, because he said something really important. He said, you know, people, like, you're on your own, and it all is up to your own state. Like in few words, it's up to the state, like the governor or the mayors of the states, to see how they're going to approach this. Whether
He's
they're
always
going, like the same thing, you know, like he's always given this each state.
He's all about the states and the power and all that they each have. But he also emphasizes that he has complete power if he wants to at turning it on, you know, like with an order. And then the media thought he was the dictator, but he just says both are true, and he's just choosing the states. By doing that, he shared responsibility.
Yeah.
That way, it can't all be blamed on him, you know, and not all.
To me, I think that is the most honorable thing he can do, because if he was a dictator, if he was a really evil guy, a man, he would literally like be like, everybody, you have to, you know. But
like Hillary.
So far, like Hillary. But so far, as far as I've seen, with proof of what he's done for like these 4 years.